Hi everyone, I'm Liz, and welcome back to Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch for Flosstube episode 71. Hi guys, welcome back to another Flosstube episode. I'm Liz, and this is my channel about cross stitching and quilting and whatever else I want to talk about. I should probably find a way to say that the same every time, because I feel like I kind of just make it up and try to remember what I'm saying every intro, but it's okay. Thanks everyone for joining me again today. I have got some fun things to show you. And I have a special guest a little bit later in the video. Allison and Ben, my little baby Ben, stopped by to chat, and Allison wanted to show off her cross stitch. So we shared our cross stitch whips together. What's new? Oh, so I just got home from Allison's house where her middle son, Andy, he turns 4 tomorrow, but we had a little birthday party with just the family at the house today. And, I gave him 2 gifts. One that was really kind of for me and my sisters and my mom, that he also will enjoy. And then one was just for him. So the thing that was kind of for all of us is a Snoopy snow cone maker. So I don't know if anyone else watching this remembers the Snoopy snow cone maker. I'll put a picture up on the screen. We had this in the 80s when I was a kid, and Target is now selling it. It's amazing. It looks just the same as how I remember it, but my mom says she thinks it's a little bit smaller than the one we used to have because she just got rid of some part or piece of it that she found. So it was just hilarious. Everybody was so excited to see it. And of course, Andy and his brothers will get to make little snow cones in it. And I think it'll be perfect to bring over to my backyard for pool parties this summer. So that was my favorite gift. But then I also, of course, got Andy dino toys and cars and stuff that he loves. But I was very excited to give him that snow cone maker because it's just very nostalgic and it was fun. So I can't wait to make another teeny tiny little snow cone in it and relive my childhood. I don't think anything else that exciting happened this week. It was just work and stitching and a little bit of quilting. I actually did a little bit of sewing. So yes, let me show you. I'll start with my finishes or actually let me start with an FFO. Okay. I don't know where I want to start today. Yesterday, my mom came over and dropped off 2 pieces that she had stitched that she wanted me to finish. And one of them was for me. And if you follow me on Instagram yesterday, you saw this. She stitched me Craft is Life. Craft is life. Oh my gosh. So clearly my mom is keeping up to date on my videos and heard me talking about this and got some red thread and a piece of fabric and stitched me Craft is Life. And I love it so much. She brought it to me on the fabric and I turned it into a little pillow last night. This is just perfect. I used some Lori Holt Flea Market because I felt like it really kind of went with the vibe of the fabric, and I used this tiny little vintage rickrack on the edges. I just stuffed it with polyfill. I didn't use any walnut shells or anything heavy, and it's gonna sit somewhere up here in my videos in my background because I just love this. So thank you, Mama. I know this is a piece of 16 count Picture This Plus Ada, but I don't remember what color it is. Yeah, so Craft is Life. Thank you, Mama. And then she also, on the same piece of fabric, stitched this little House Needleworks chart. I can't remember the name of it. I know she gave me the chart back. I don't remember. It's a little House Needleworks, and it came with a floss pack originally, but she just picked, I think, her own floss colors and stitched it. And it's super cute. So I'll probably do this into a little stand up or something, a little flat finish. And so as you can see, my mom is back in the cross stitching groove. She even got a new project yesterday that was a delayed Christmas gift that she started. So I'm hoping, Mom, you should share some pictures on your Instagram of your new start because it's super cute. It's going to be awesome. Okay, and then I also had a cross stitch finish. Let me see if I have the chart. Yes. I pulled out this week my Mr. Marshmallow from With Thy Needle and Thread, which I have not stitched on since last year. And I think I even pulled this out before Christmas and was like, oh, this isn't a high priority one, because I had just kind of gotten bogged down with the giant blue cup, and I didn't like how all of my colors were looking on my fabric because I had changed my fabric. So I pulled it out, finalized my colors, committed to the giant blue cup, and I got Mr. Marshmallow all stitched up and finished. And he is so cute. I'm so happy I pushed through and got this one done because, I mean, that's so cute. So I stitched him on hot pink fabric that I over dyed myself on 36 count white Zweigart. So I used cherry red RIT dye and probably a little bit of tanner brown just to kind of muddy the color a little bit. Usually that's what I do. I don't use just like a straight color, like a bright like primary color for dye. I mix a tiny bit of like tan or brown or gray, just depending on the tint, to kind of muddy it and soften it a little bit. So it's, I mean, obviously it's a hot pink, but it's not like neon, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's how I dyed that. And I also wanted to mention, because people have asked me before to do like dyeing tutorials, but I don't really think I'm that good at it, to be honest. So I will recommend Kathleen, Situation Normal, has a really good RIT dye tutorial, and Michelle, Mama Loves You GB, she just posted a low immersion technique, which is actually pretty similar to what I do, although I do use more water in my mix to dilute my dye and create kind of a more all over color rather than she does a low immersion to kind of give the modeling, which is great. But anyways, it's very similar to the method I do. There's a ton of good videos out there. So I'll link both of those below if you want to go check out how other people do their RIT dyeing. But it's super simple, and plain white Zweigart is relatively inexpensive, I mean, compared to the hand dyed. So I totally recommend trying it out. Oh, I guess I should tell you, I did not use the called for colors. I used the called for on the blue cup and the white snowman, but I changed up my greens and oranges and reds just to kind of fit the color of my fabric a little bit better. So yeah, I can't quite decide how I want to finish this. The cover photo shows it as a pillow, which is super cute. It'd just be not a huge pillow, but it'd be bigger than most of the little cross stitch pillows I make. So one thing I was looking at maybe doing is using a Mill Hill frame. So this is just a plain wood painted red Mill Hill frame. And I've used these before to frame a number of things. And I was thinking that this kind of might be, I mean, obviously it's not in there straight, but that kind of might be the perfect size. So I might do this in a little red frame, or I might try and make a little pillow. I haven't quite decided how I want to finish this, but I probably will try to do this in the next week or so. What? Monster. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Rob just came in here and interrupted me because he had to show me a video that he just took of Jonesy. I'll put it up on the screen. This cat is obsessed with food, with human food. I mean, also, I guess a little bit cat food, but like, we got him, he was 4 months old from the shelter, obsessed with human food. We've never given him a scrap. We've had him 2 weeks. We've never given him a scrap of food. Why? How do we stop this cat from trying to eat everything in our house? Because like when we eat dinner, he goes insane. We have to sometimes put him in the bathroom to get him to stop trying to get our food. I have never had a cat this obsessed with food, so any tips? But yeah, this is what I live with now. He's a wild animal. Okay, well, with that, that's what I finished this week. Allison and baby Ben showed up for a little visit, so I'm going to show you that and we'll talk about whips. So I had some visitors come over today. Allison's back and she brought the new baby. Hi, Benny. Say hi to you too. They are very familiar with him on his quilt that I made him.
His lovely quilt that has his name on it.
We had a birthday party for Allison's middle son, Andy, who turned 4 today. And while I was over there, Allison was like, maybe Ben and I should come by and show off her cross stitch because she's been working on something.
Yes, I have. I'm so excited to show everyone. I've been making a lot of progress lately, and I have everything stored in my beautiful new bag that Liz made me for Christmas.
Who made it?
It's so cute. Debbie, you've shown this one off already, huh?
I made a whole video about this one.
That's right, that's right.
Oh, Benny.
So mad.
What do you have to say? What do you have to say?
He doesn't like it when I cross stitch because it means I'm not holding him.
Yeah. Okay. You want me to hold him so you can show off?
Yeah, you hold him. And if you follow Liz on Instagram, you'll see the picture that my son drew me yesterday that says, good job cross stitching, mommy.
Yes.
Like, it was so cute. So Liz got me this kit, the Satsuma Street, this little snowman to work on. And so I've been making pretty good progress.
You did a lot of good progress.
I'll try and show it off here.
Yeah.
So this is the progress. I've gotten most of the top done, and now I'm kind of working on filling in the snowman body before I go back and really make good progress on his scarf.
Yeah.
Just trying to get as much of the white done. Mostly, honestly, just for me, because I wanted a break from going back and forth between colors, and I just wanted to do a lot of the same for a little while. It's been a nice, palette cleanser, because going back and forth between the colors just stresses me out. And I've already made one mistake that Elizabeth had to come over and
she just used, what did you use? Pot pink instead of plum?
Yeah, there's a lot of like pink, red, light pink, plum. There's a lot of
That's the only difficulty I find with these charts, and the Mill Hill's the same way, because they give you all the floss you need, but it's not labeled. And so usually it's pretty obvious, but I do, make myself notes sometimes if there's like some close colors.
Yeah, and I was also going to show, I'm sure you've already shown everybody this that you have, but Liz turned me on to this little headlamp that I got on Amazon that I've been using while I cross stitch, and it has a little spot here to put in like a little magnifier. I bet a bunch of people use it. I bet this is very popular.
I know Betsy Klager, she and a Situation Normal Kathleen both use these, and I've showed it a lot on my Instagram. It's so handy.
It's so handy, and it has arms if you want to wear it like glasses, or I have the headband on it, which I really like. And I've never looked cuter as when I'm wearing my my little headlamp. My husband sees me and he's like, what are you doing?
Or is he like, what are you doing?
It's one of the two. It's the first one. But anyway, I've been making some good headway on my little snowman. I love him, and I'm excited to learn how to go back through and do the beads in these little like empty spots. There will be beads there, so Liz will show me how to do that. And Liz also taught me, because I'm such a cross stitch novice, the loop method, where, you have the one strand and you just sort of fold it over rather than having to tie it off.
Yeah.
And I really love it. And that's been very handy.
Yeah, it's really good for anytime you're using 2 strands of floss. But since I mostly work with 1 strand, that's why I don't use it that often. Because you can't do that with just one, with an odd number of flosses.
Yeah, so that's been really handy, and it's been so nice here. I'm going to hold my baby for a minute. Just a minute.
Okay, well, I'll show you guys what I've been working on this week while y'all sit here. Okay. So this week, I've been working on my Quaker Snowflakes by Liz Mathews, and I'll put the chart up on the screen because I have the digital download. And here is where I got to on my Quaker Snowflakes. Have you seen this one?
No, I haven't. I love that fabric though.
I know, it's so cool. This is Picture This Plus Fathom in 40 count. And so I'm doing NPI silk floss. I'm doing my own conversion because I'm just using the colors I had in my stash. And so it's just a couple of colors, a white and a pink. And then I haven't actually even picked a green yet because it's used so little, but I'm going to do all the white first. So Yep, just been working on Quaker Snowflakes a little bit more this week.
Did you dye this yourself or it came like this?
Picture This Plus is a brand of fabric that I think the Ada I gave you for your Nutcracker is Picture This Plus.
It's beautiful.
So it's hand dyed. It's just by like a company.
Yeah, I love it.
I know. They do really cool fabrics.
That's beautiful. You talking about what colors you're using on it made me think about earlier I was thinking you need to come out with like a Flosstube bingo card that people can play, and like the free space is like the called for DMC basically, because there's just like certain phrases that I feel like I hear so often over and over again. It would be like such an easy game to play as you're watching like your favorite Flosstube.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Called for DMC.
Ada would be a square.
Oh yeah, Ada. Or what else do I say a lot?
I don't know. I feel like anytime you
I'll put a picture on the screen. That's one for me.
Anytime you mention another floss tuber, because I feel like everyone's just mentioning each other. It's just such an interwoven community. Notice what I did there? Interwoven.
Cross stitches and weaving.
It's still, just give it to me.
Okay, I gave it to you.
Give me the joke. But anyway, I feel like something like that would be very funny and fun.
That would be. All right, let's make bingo cards. Okay, next up this week, I worked on my Be Mine Biscornu. And this is from Heartstring Samplery, and it is adorable. And I have seen so many people starting to stitch this now or bringing it back out. Helen, who is East Coast Crafter on Instagram, and Helen D on YouTube, because as she explained, she couldn't figure out how to change her YouTube name, which I love that story, Helen. Thank you for making me laugh. Anyways, here's my progress on the Be Mine Biscornu. It's a little pincushion.
I love it.
I know. I'm obsessed with this one. So I'm about halfway, I think. And this is deceptively big, I guess I would say. It's like 107 by 107 stitches. And so I'm doing it on 40 count to make it a little bit smaller size-wise, but it's still like the same number of stitches.
It's not full coverage though, is it?
No, not at all.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's just,
yeah,
it's just taking me longer than I originally thought it would. But I love it. And I definitely want to get this done so I can make the actual Biscornu. So this is like, you make the top and bottom.
It's
and
like
then you put it together.
It's like if a pentagram and a donut got together. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. A pentagram and a donut.
Am I wrong?
No, that's accurate.
I've never heard the word Biscornu. I'm learning things today.
Oh yeah, I know. I had never heard it until a few years ago.
We're learning.
I am using, this is upside down, the called for colors, except for the red, which I substituted to Red Rocks, which is one of my favorite Weeks colors, just for a brighter red. The only other whips or things that I worked on this week were sewing related. I quilted this week, finally, for the first time in what feels like months. I worked on my single girl quilt. So did you watch my video last week where I talked about the single girl quilt? Yeah. I got a lot of really fun comments about how I should try to get it done before I got married. And I was like, that's a really good idea.
That's funny.
Like, let's finish the single girl quilts. And that is my, quilt that represents the first 38 years of being single.
I thought you were 28.
Yeah, 28. Figure my older sister.
That was rude. Why is everyone talking about my age so much? That cute little cross stitch note Charlie wrote for me. He also wrote my age on it. I was like, this didn't feel necessary to mention how old I am, Charlie. Charlie came over yesterday and he told me that he wrote his mom that note, and he's going to write her that note every 31 years. Okay, now you're mentioning it. Let's just all talk about how old I am. No, but then it got better because he told me he also wrote Ryan, his dad, a note. And he told me, I was like, oh, what did you tell your dad that he was good at? And he's like, oh, I told him he does a really good job raising us. And I was like, that's adorable. And I'm sure Ryan loved it. He did. And he goes, and I'm going to write him that same note every 33 years. And I was like, so how old will your dad be in 33 years? And he's like, 66. And I was like, well, how old will you be? And he's like, 39. And I was like, that's older than me right now. And he was like, oh yeah, because you're only 38. And I was like, how do you remember my age? He loves numbers. He's obsessed with knowing, you know, he's doing subtraction and addition like nobody's business. It's so funny.
I know.
He's such a little sponge for all of that stuff.
Oh my gosh, it was adorable. So I was like, okay, well, I'm sure your dad is going to be delighted in 33 years when he gets that next note.
Yeah, Ryan, today he goes, wait, you get one every 31 years? I only get one every 33? I was like, let me have this. Have women not suffered enough? I can't get one 2 years more frequently than him.
Vinny,
It's so
are you going to write adorable notes when you're 6?
I hope so.
Hi. Okay.
I think it's time for Benny and I to go home.
Is it nap time or is it playtime?
It's cuddle time.
Cuddle time.
It's cuddle time.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for letting us come show off our snowman.
Sure.
I'll be back with more progress, or I'll at least send progress pics along to you.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll work on my bingo card.
Oh, I didn't even talk. It's okay. I'll finish the quilt conversation later. All right, let's say bye to Ben and Allison. Bye.
Bye, Benny. Kiss sandwich.
Okay, so I realized as Allison and I were wrapping up that I didn't even talk to you about my quilt because she was like, oh, it's time to go. And I was like, oh yeah, okay. And then I was like, oh wait, I was going to talk to you about quilting. My single girl quilt. I loved the idea of trying to get that done before I get married. I think that's a really good goal and I should really be able to do it. That's the key. Like, I think it's possible to get done. So I pulled it out this week and started working on it. And I made several more of my wedge blocks. The way the rings of the single girl quilt come together are 4 kind of arcs to make the circle. And so I think I made like 6 or 7 more of the little arches and I laid them all out and took a picture of what I have so far and it looks so good and I'm very motivated and inspired. The only like hard part left is I need to cut out about 30 more background wedges and then assemble all the rings together. So I think as long as I can get like, I'm going to say 1 a day, like average 1 wedge a day, meaning I get about 7 of them done a week, then I'll have all the squares put together in the next 4 weeks. Yeah. And then assemble the quilt top and get it quilted. Yeah. So I have plenty of time. I think I have no pressure. I just need, a couple nights a week to sit down and make a few more of those wedge blocks and then put it all together and I'll have a finished single girl quilt. So that is my plan. My initial plan for quilting. I mean, I have so many more quilts I want to make, including some haul that I'm going to show you in a minute for another new quilt because I can't be stopped. So, yes. Okay, what else do I want to talk about? Let me show you, oh my gosh, the most generous, insane happy mail ever. Let me grab that and I'll be right back. Okay, so earlier this week, Sandra sent me this big old box. And I was like, what? I mean, okay, she told me what she was sending me, but I don't think I quite realized all what it was. And I was very excited, Sandra. So she sent me a super cute note with a really lovely note inside and a sentiment that like I feel, which is passing on craft supplies to people you know will use them because you know you're not going to use it. I have sewing, quilting, painting, scrapbooking, knitting, crochet, jewelry making, gift wrap. I'm like, there are crafts, weaving. I have weaving stuff. Like I have so much craft stuff in this room. And some of it, like knitting and crochet, I have not done in years. And I have so many drawers full of beautiful yarn. They're just sitting there because I know I'm not really like in a knitting place right now. I don't need to hoard this much yarn. So I was like super inspired by her note. I need to start like putting together like gifts for people I know who will use some of this stuff and pass on some of my craft supplies that I don't want to just get rid of, but like I don't have room for everything I want to store in this room. So I need to let go of some of my older stuff. Like I haven't scrapbooked in years and I was never even that into it, but I have so much stuff in this room. So I need to pass on some of this stuff. Anyways, let me show you what Sandra sent me. She sent me a block of the month quilt kit from the Fat Quarter shop. So this is Summer Moon by, I think, Carrie Nelson, and it's a block of the month program. and it's gorgeous. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. I think I looked at the copyright and it was like 2019 from Fat Quarter Shop, or It's So Emma, which is the publishing side of Fat Quarter Shop. And so she sent me all of the packages. So like this is Vintage Summer Moon, Block of the Month, Month 4. So in here is all of the supplies I need to make all of these blocks that are in month 4. So it's just like everything is pre-packaged and ready to go. And also like this is seriously making me want to sign up for a Fat Quarter Shop block of the month because I've never done one of them before. I didn't realize kind of how everything came like this. This is amazing. So yeah, I have all of the months of the quilt kit and the book on how to put everything together. So Sandra, thank you for such a generous, amazing pass the stash. I appreciate it so much, and I can't wait to start putting some of these blocks together. And it also came with like the backgrounds and sashings and stuff. So this is amazing, amazing. And she also included in here this super cute wool applique project, which is this little sunflower like candle mat type thing with all of the wool for that. So I'm a very lucky girl today. Sandra, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, I also got a tiny bit of haul. I got my Moda Fat Quarter bundle from the Fat Quarter Shop. I'm part of their Moda Fat Quarter Club. And so this is a 12 Fat Quarter bundle of Beautiful Day. Does it tell me who the brand is? I mean, it's Moda, but I don't know who the actual designer is. But it's just gorgeous, gorgeous fabrics. And so yeah, so I'll add that to my fabric stash. I'm probably going to have to unsubscribe from this club at some point because I have so many Fat Quarter packs over here just begging me to do something with them. But then I feel like I'm gonna miss out on the new fabric lines, which is why I like being a part of this club. Dilemmas. Okay. And then I got on Etsy another Fat Quarter bundle because you might remember last week I showed you the Ruby Star Society Stay Gold panel. I don't know where it is. It's in there somewhere, so I'll put a picture up on the screen. And I was talking about how I wasn't sure like what kind of quilt or I don't know what I wanted to do with all the panels or all the blocks in the panel. And so I ended up going on Etsy and buying the Stay Gold Fat Quarter panel or Fat Quarter bundle. I love this. And I found a quilt pattern that is free from Moda or whoever Ruby Star. I think it's, I'm losing everything. I think Ruby Star is through Moda now, right? Not Robert Kaufman. Either way, I found a pattern. I'll put a picture of it up here. And it uses the panel to do the center squares of sawtooth stars. And I love a sawtooth star pattern. So I want to make this quilt and I bought the Fat Quarter bundle, which is what you need to make the quilt with. And then you just kind of pair up your fat quarters to be like the stars or the background or whatever with like the prints you love from the panel. So I'm very excited about that. And I think it'll be a super simple quilt to put together. So maybe this one's going to move up the list and I'll work on that soon. I don't know. But anyways, that's what I decided I wanted to do with my Stay Gold panel. So I brought more fabric into this house because that's what I'm lacking is more fabric. Here's the panel. I didn't put it away. Okay. I mean, I showed you the picture, so you know what I'm talking about. But basically, you know, I'll cut apart these blocks and each one of these will be the center square of my sawtooth star. So yeah, and this panel I think has like 50 something maybe. I don't know. But I think I only need like 36 or something for the quilt, so I'll get to pick and choose kind of my favorite ones. So I'm very excited about that. And cross stitch wasp or bee or whatever is definitely making the cut. As is this typewriter, because that typewriter is my favorite. Oh yeah, okay, so I had one sewing project I was gonna start this week. Is that interesting if I tell you what I'm thinking about doing? I haven't done it yet because I don't have all the right supplies that I want. I was watching Nicola Bumble Stitches. She did these Twixtmas floss tubes that were like between Christmas and New Year's, and they were great, by the way. She did a lot of cool projects, and one of them is she made herself a quilted planner cover for her Lori Holt stitchy planner, and she used my notebook cover tutorial. So I published this probably about a year ago, and it's just a fabric covered notebook. And so I'll link that video down below if you missed that. And so she used this tutorial, which had me thinking about it again because I love making these little notebook covers. And I was kind of looking at this thinking, this would be a really good needle book if I shrunk this down. I really love needle books. So I've only ever made one, which is this Blackbird Designs. It's from the Bells on Christmas Day book. It's like a small piece from the sampler that they have into a little needle book. And so I stitched that, and then I have my wool felt inside and my little ribbon closure that I usually just wrap around it. And I use this, like this has, you know, lots of little needles in here, and that's kind of where I tuck needles after I've used them and grab extra ones. And I wanted a book with more pages so I could designate like 26, 28 sharps, you know, just like different beading needles, like different types of needles. And I also wanted one that wasn't cross stitched, so I wasn't as worried about, you know, messing up my beautiful stitching. And I also just kind of want to display this one because it's like really pretty. So I wanted to make a fabric like quilted needle book, and I think I'm gonna make one like in the style of my notebook cover with little pockets for like scissors and things, and then pages of wool for needles. And I think I'm gonna make it out of my favorite Lori Holt to match all of my retreat supplies, because I'm trying to go to a couple of retreats, I guess this year in the fall after I'm married. I can't go to anything before because I'm too busy. But I'm trying to go after. So I pulled these fabrics. The only problem is I want felted wool for the pages instead of wool felt, which are two different products. So I'm waiting on an order of some felted wool, but that's on my radar as another sewing project that I really want to take on. And maybe I'll try to film it when I do it, because it'll be kind of an adaptation of my notebook cover tutorial and a little bit of an adaptation of Lori Holt's needle book and what's her name, Joanne Figueroa, Fig Tree Quilts. She has a video on Fat Quarter Shop that's very similar too, and I was watching those and I was like, wait, I could make that just like I make my notebook covers. So okay, that's sewing plans. Okay, I think I've reached the end of the video. I think that's, I don't know, I'm just inventing things to talk about now. And so instead, I am gonna go get my stitching and watch some football. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video, and I'll be back next Sunday. Okay, bye.